Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good Friday morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors in Winston, Chester. Glad you're here. We got a great show lined up and great weather. Our weather brought to us by Drew Potter's Company and Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. How about a high of 76 and a low of 54? Taking a look at our water temperature off the end of the pier is 62.4. Everything looks good except for our tide chart. We'll talk about that later. Take a look at our river readings. It's got a good steady, it's still high now. That price gold is still at 10 foot. 10.1, it's still got a little bit of a drop to it, but it's going to be high on the big river. On the Choctawhatchee, on the other hand, we've got a little bit of drop to it. It's at a 5.3 this morning, and it's looking good for the weekend. He's going to have to just get out there and give it a shot. There's been some nice brim caught over the weekend. So we're looking at a good situation there, except for our tides. We're in neap tides today and through the weekend, not much movement. We'll be aided by a southeast wind coming in at about 11. So if you're inshore fishing, you're going to have to move around a little bit. You're not going to have a lot of tidal flow. So it'll be a challenge to you this weekend to catch those big redfish and the big trout. And trout season open again here to keep here in the Panhandle. Okay, we're going to take a break and come back with our special guest. Welcome back and welcome to my Panhandle Outdoor teammate, Bill Allen.
Hey, buddy.
Listen, we're talking. I just wanted Bill to come on the show today because it's Friday and everybody's getting ready to fish for the weekend. And you and Donna did something sort of last weekend, which I love because we talk about doing it just sort of spontaneously, let's go kind of deal. So tell us about it.
Well, you know, and other people that we went on Saturday, but the 2 weeks prior to that, Donna had tested positive for COVID. Mm-hmm. And I want to thank everybody for all the prayers and all the food. But she, unfortunately, is in excellent shape. Plays tennis 2 or 3 times a week. She's no health problems, and while she struggled with it for 3 or 4 days, being really tired and a headache.
It was tough, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. And but then she began to improve. But Donna's just always on the go. Mm-hmm. So sitting around was just awful for her. We tried to take a ride a couple of days, but and we're both vaccinated, so I think that had a lot to do with it not being as severe, and her shape, her health. But so anyway, Donna has fished with me before, as you know, plenty of times, but we've never been catfishing. And we've been talking about it before, and Saturday was a glorious day. I mean, there was a little bit of wind, but not much. It was a high of about 78. River was at 9 feet, so the tide was right, so we decided we'd just take off. And so stopped and picked up some earthworms, and then we headed down to the lower landing and then down past the houseboat on the Brothers.
It's Howard Creek now.
Yeah, went to a spot that Bill and I usually try first. You never know, but just we started fishing at 11:30, and the water started falling. I mean, it got progressively better. Our timing was really good, so we did well. We had a ball. Donna caught most of the fish, and she had the good touch. She developed that real quick, and we had a ball. We fished for a couple hours when I had done a Boston butt earlier in the week, and we took some pulled pork and sandwich stuff and went to where the boys and I camped, on that point at Bierman's, and that's where we got up on the hill and had lunch. And then we rode around upriver, tried a couple of places, didn't really do it. Donna wasn't ready to go, so we went right back to where we started from and started catching fish again.
I love that because the old saying, you never leave fish.
Yeah,
that's a classic case of it.
But it was, it was midday, and ready to stretch our legs a little bit and stuff. So we went to the camp spot, and did it. So
and that pulled pork tastes a little bit better.
Oh man, everything does. Everything does. And I fixed those fish on Sunday, the next day. Yeah. And they were great. Of course,
had a great weekend.
How much I love them.
And I think the secret of the whole thing though was that Panhandle Outdoors cap.
That's it.
And,
that's it.
So we got the picture there, and I know Donna. There it is, right there. Donna
Yeah, and I wanted to show this as this Donna just took a still picture, and I wanted to show this just to show you that that I am practicing what I preach. You know, we both got those automatic life vests on.
That's right.
And I don't, you know, since Chris passed away, a good friend of ours, a little over a year ago in a boating accident, you know, and I should have been doing it all along,
Yeah.
but, you know, Greg and I wear them. Bill's got one, you know, and so if I get in the boat, I've got the kill switch attached and I've got that on.
Yeah.
And
And
so-
we're the same way. It's just so important.
Yeah, and they're you know, you get the automatic inflatable ones, they're $100 or so, you know, I mean, it's a little bit of money, but compared to what it could possibly do. So I won't go anywhere without it, but if it works, I've got 2 or 3 little short videos here.
Yeah, I want to, before we get to videos, I
Yeah.
want to talk about it real quick, and we talked about it over the week after your trip and all. You had trouble finding earthworms. You had to go a couple of different places.
Yeah, well, I stopped. I learned a long time ago, you never go to the last place available to buy worms. So I had not been in what I still call Brooks on 22 there.
Yeah.
It's, new people own it now, but they've done a nice job with it in there. And I stopped in, and nobody had been there to deliver worms.
Yeah.
They didn't have any. I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah,
this
you
is
understand how
great.
this works. There's these worm farms, and then people go around the tackle shop to deliver.
They deliver them, that's right.
These worm farms, you know, you and I were talking, they must have been running short or either gas to get them out, but anyway, they hadn't delivered there.
No, they had not delivered, and I didn't have any strawberry chicken. It was the last minute. So, you know, we went on down, and just outside of Weewall, we pulled into that little place there.
Yeah, but anyway, the big thing about getting worms, you want to call it ahead of time.
Yeah.
You want if
Yeah.
you can, especially now, because we about to take off on that on worm fishing, you know, springtime fishing.
Yeah.
We got to take a quick break. We got all kind of cool pictures and all. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Today with my fellow co-host, Bill Allen, and he and Donna just did what we're talking about outdoorsmen, and sometimes you just get the urge to go, and that's what y'all did.
Be
You went fishing.
outside.
Yeah, get outside and get outdoors and do it. And you didn't plan anything. The boat ran good and everything running
No,
good.
yeah, you know how proud I am of that little boat that I've put together from scratch. It's you know, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
You don't get it better than that.
For doing what we do down there, you know, I've got my flats boat for everything else, but that's my little river boat that I just absolutely love.
So we got some videos, and some of them we just picked out a couple of them.
I
See
know.
what we
Jeff,
got.
regardless of Jeff's best efforts, he can't teach me how to do this,
Jeff,
but
now listen,
we got 2 or 3 little short clips here.
All right, Jeff has always told us to do it. How, Jeff? Horizontal.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so many of us just still do it this way, including myself. So anyway, some of these will be.
So this
anyway,
is really
let's
not.
try.
They're just 2 or 3 of these short ones here, just to show what kind of time that we had. Maybe.
All right, so here we go. All right, there's Donna.
Folks,
Look at that fish.
it is Saturday, and as you can
I love that
already
eating
tell,
size.
I have upgraded my fishing partners
Oh yeah,
substantially.
yeah.
This
That's
This is
what
my
I'm looking
gorgeous
for
wife,
right
Donna,
there.
with the first catfish of the day, and
But
it
that
is
was we
perfect
pulled up,
size.
and that was the
We
very
are out of Howard's Creek,
first line
That's a-
we put in the water.
First one, okay.
Yeah.
down to Brothers River,
And
and first of
you
the
know,
day.
you
Hopefully
can tell
there'll
it's
be more.
just a gorgeous day. It's beautiful, not a lot of wind, and this is this one plays. This is
Up again.
You had it horizontal, didn't you switch?
the biggest one of the day. Yeah, you know, I mean,
She's excited now.
you
Look
just
at her.
just lean over on your couches, lean over in the chair. It looks perfectly
The
fine.
biggest one I've caught.
I can hear her now. She's
But,
excited. Isn't she?
Yeah, she had already become a pro at this point and had determined that this is taking her a little bit longer.
You know, talking about your rig and all about. I said a lightweight rig.
There's no other way to do it, and it saved when we started fishing with those little ugly sticks.
Down there?
I think they're 5 feet or less,
Hung up on a
and
tree.
that's just that cheap little reel that comes with it. But
Oh my gosh.
this is her biggest one and the
Watch
biggest
it right
one
now,
of the
don't
day.
bend it.
Okay,
That-
hold on.
That's all right. Just
Oh, yeah.
Pull it up.
Hold
Pull
on.
it up.
Hold on.
That's why you
She's
got
an
the
expert on
ugly
it.
stick.
Put it
Let me
on
see
the
that.
boat.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly she
That is
became an
probably the
expert.
biggest one today. Very nice.
But You know, Donna's an outdoors person, and so just one more short one here, which is probably the funniest one.
All right, we got this one. All right, look at that river, looks pretty, don't it?
Oh man, it's beautiful. There's a little bit of wind, but the tide's falling. We have any trouble anchoring the boat, and you know, she just did a tremendous job. She developed the touch really quickly. But that is what I'm looking for. That may be a little bit big.
No matter what size it is.
That's right.
But you talking about having a great time. We had
Very good.
you
That's
can't
perfect.
have that much fun.
We got it.
It was a great time.
that's
But
great.
you know, a few years ago, Bill and I discovered these little ugly sticks. If they're 5 feet, they're less probably, but they're indestructible. And they come with these cheap little nothing reels, and that's what Donna had on. A couple of mine, I've got 3 of them now. I've upgraded reels, but you're only talking about $14 or $15, just those little reels. But what saved us a fortune was that we started fishing the smallest Power Pro we could, like a 2-pound diameter or 4-pound diameter. And then, you know, with the weight and then the swivel, and then we're using the leader is Power Pro. Because, you know, in the past, you're going to get hung up eventually. And when you get hung up and you just got monofilament, when you break it off, you're going to lose everything. You're going to use the lead, you're going to use everything. But those little number 7 Aberdeen hooks, you know, that are so bendable, when you get hooked up now, you can just pull on it and it'll come loose and you don't lose your whole rig. So we both have boxes full of leads because we're not replacing them anymore. You know, we're not losing them like that. But the other thing is, you know, with 2 guys our size in a boat, like me and Bill or me and Greg or whoever, somebody's going to step on one of those cheap rods. And, you know, you buy those rods for $9 or $10. I think this rig with the little reel it comes with is maybe $35 or $39, but I've had them for years now. The others we were constantly breaking or stepping on or breaking on a bigger catfish. So that's just saved us a fortune fishing those little things.
My favorite story on the ugly stick, when it first came out, I called one of my fishing buddies up. I said, hey, they put out a new rod and reel combination, and they named it after you. And they did. I said, you're such a good fisherman. I said, run down and look at it. And he called me back, but anyway, that was a joke for a while. This is named after you.
Yeah, they're not pretty. I mean, I don't. That's the only thing I use them for. But they're easy to handle, lightweight. They don't take up any room, but they won't break. I mean, you know, they're just indestructible.
Yeah.
So.
That's such a good point too. And you mentioned. The wire, the bendable hook. I mean, it just straightens out, and that is so.
Get those little, you know, they get bent up after a while, but they're easy to grab with your forceps and just, you know, bend back if you need to, or you know, you buy them by the 100 to the thing, so you know, you just replace it. But using Power Pro on it, and a little 2-pound diameter or something is plenty strong enough for any of the catfish that you're going to catch. Heck, Bill caught several years ago. Bill caught a legal redfish on a worm like that when we were fishing a little bit further down towards the big river.
In the river.
On a creek that was coming out, and we thought, man, he just had a monster catfish, but it was running too much.
Yeah.
And he pulled up, I don't remember, 25, 26-inch redfish with that little hook.
I can hear him now. I know he's excited. We're gonna We're going to get ready to do our fishing forecast. We're going to do it right here, and we're going to talk about, you know, inshore and fresh water. Before we do that, we got to do our drawing, and we have some. We got to add some names, Bill. We're going to add. Let me add these first. Versey Cruz, 14-pound, 8-ounce bass. Congratulations, Versey. So we're going to put you in a drawing.
Yeah.
With your better half, Mary Cruz. Okay, and then. The Rogers, I got Beth Rogers and Steve Rogers. Steve, the rod maker. He's going to come on the show pretty soon talking about if you want a rod made coming up this spring. So you stir it up, Bill. This is going to be a $20 gift certificate to Tarpon Dock Seafood. And our winner.
This is $20 to Tarpon Dock.
Yes, sir. And who we got?
Bill Allen. No, Pam Carroll in Westville.
Okay, Pam from Westville. All right, a big red snapper. Fresh off the boat. Those guys been working hard. Who's going to win the
you're
red
not
snapper?
kidding. Sonia Burke from Vernon.
All right, we got Vernon.
Covering the Panhandle.
We did. We covered the Panhandle like kudzu covers Alabama. All right, we're going to take our final break, come back and take a look at our fishing forecast for the weekend. Okay, welcome back to Panhandle Outdoors on a Friday as we get ready for our famous Friday fishing forecast. But first, we want to take a look at our times this morning. We're looking at, go ahead and take care of it.
That's the mayor, he's wanting to fish probably.
Fishing game time today. We're looking at 12:14 and 2:14 this morning, but this evening, after lunch, 12:37 and 2:37 would be a good time, right after lunch. Work a half a day on Friday and go fishing. The biggest thing, we've been talking about freshwater on the big river. Let's quickly jump into inshore fishing. The biggest challenge this weekend, we ain't got no tide.
No water movement.
No water movement. So, hey, you know, and you say you got your cousin Joe coming in, hey, and he wants to go catch a redfish. So what would you tell him?
Well, you know, I'm not a big proponent of going, you know, out into the pass and all that, which is, it's a lot of fun. You can catch some big redfish out there, but, you know, if you do that, and I know most of you do, but you got to take your time and release those fish, you know, those big fish.
Yeah.
If you don't spend a lot of time reviving that fish, he's just going to sink to the bottom and die. And, you know, that's something that even with the fish that you're catching and releasing in the bay, take your time with them, because a redfish, a mature redfish, will give you everything he's got before he comes to the boat.
That's right.
And so he's going to be a lot more tired than you are, and you have to take great care, great time, and just be patient. Don't just chunk them back in, because a lot of them are going to die like that. But, you know, that's a good place to go. And you get up with some of these guys like Michael Coward and those guys who, you know, can get out there and show you how to do things right and catch them. But, you know, if you're going to wander around the flats, for me personally, I would look to fish after the high tide, because, you know, we have such low tides right now. So when you have, and there's not going to be a lot of water movement, but it moves a little bit. So, you know, that's where you're going to have a better chance of locating the fish. And then, you know, you're just going to have to throw everything you got. And if we don't live bait fish, but that's probably what I would go to if I was taking somebody that absolutely had to try to catch them. I'd set up a little searcher rig, and you can always fall back, and you should always have these in your box, is have popping corks. You know, they are not just for kids. We've caught tremendous fish on this thing.
This kind of weekend will be really ideal for popping cork.
Make some noise.
Make some noise and get them attracted. There won't be a lot of movement, so they can hear the noise a lot better. So that's what we'd recommend.
Put your choice of gulp or whatever soft bait, or, you know, you can fish those with live bait. But, you know, you get that gulp shrimp with that scent, or the Z-Man, you know, either one, the smaller baits, and rig them up there and make some noise. That would be the go-to thing when you really have to try to attract them.
And and other things, sheephead still strong off the bridges. All the bridges here through the Panhandle are strong. We're looking at speckled trout now. If you want to keep speckled trout, it's legal to keep them here in Panhandle. That's going to be good fishing. We talked about you and Mark going crappie fishing in Lake Talcum pretty soon.
Yeah, we talked the other day about going, and, you know,
that's still good.
Gone over there, and that video's still up on YouTube. I think when you Google crappie fishing over there, we just had a great day, and Mark's got a new boat, got a new bass boat.
Okay.
So we talked about
to his roots
there. Yeah, and he grew up as a bass fisherman.
Yeah. Okay. And this is March, and the biggest thing, what you start thinking about March is Spanish mackerel. And all of a sudden, they're going to start coming in on what fog?
The third fog.
The third
Write it down. I was talking to somebody yesterday about it, talking to my buddy Bob, who's moved down here, and he was asking, he bought a boat, and I said, well, this is what you're looking for now. We're in March.
Go ahead and get your little rig together and be ready. And it's going to be, we'll get a fog next week, I can promise.
And that's like that, you know, after that third fog, it's right.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about the Spanish mackerel fishing. It's right, but this weekend will be a challenge as far as you know, with not water movement. You got to adapt to the challenge, and also do like Bill and Donna did. Just if you don't plan something, all of a sudden go do it anyway.
Listen, if we hadn't have caught any fish, if we'd have just gone down, and of course I think that's one of the most beautiful places ever. I love being on that river, just like I love being in the mountains on those streams. But we would have just rode around up in some of those creeks, had lunch out there, and I mean, that's just this weather, you got to take advantage of it. And the fish were a bonus, but we gave some away, and we wound up catching plenty of fish, and we gave some away, and then, like I said, I cooked them on Sunday, and it was just, there weren't any left. She can also eat them.
Yeah, we had cooked some fish 2 Sundays ago, and I told Gals, we're getting ready to cook them, honey, this might be too many fish. And at the end, the plate was empty. And so that's always a good feeling.
Yeah.
I got about a minute left. What else? You got anything else? We got the big thing this week. Okay, wait. This weekend. Okay, look. I need to mention this real quick. You got the Holmes County turkey thing today. Tomorrow you've got the blood tracking up there in Cottondale with the dogs. You got the rodeo. You can hit all 3 of those if you want to. But you got and then also the boating safety. Go get your boat checked with the Coast Guard Auxiliary. That's 4 things going on this weekend.
That's great. That's important.
4 things right there. So and then try to squeeze in some fishing in between. But a lot of good things going on in the Panhandle this weekend.
It's there's a lot of us who fish year round, of course. But for those of you waiting for this perfect weather going into the summer, check your boat out. Check your trailer out. Make sure your tires are good. Just run through everything. Right now is a great time to do it. And flares and fire extinguishers expire.
Okay.
Check. This is a great time to make a checklist. Go check.
We gotta go. We gotta go get breakfast.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend. Enjoy the great outdoors. God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.